the newly crowned Emmy-winning television show and magazine, Feast Magazine, and their publisher, Kat Neville from Feast Magazine. Good morning, Kat.
Good morning.
What's so funny?
Nothing.
All right. All right. I usually make women laugh for no reason. All right. Let's get straight to it. What do we have restaurant-wise?
Okay. There are two really great new spots in town that I'm excited about. The first one is Baiku, which is B-A-I and then capital K-U, and it is a sushi lounge in Hotel Ignacio, which is a small kind of boutique hotel in Midtown right there by SLU. Okay. And so Baiku opened up very, very recently, and actually their grand opening is the 17th of this month. And so Brad Baraka, who is the very talented gentleman who brought us miso and araka.
Okay.
This is his latest entry into the St. Louis restaurant scene. And so Steve Smith is the gentleman that owns like the Moto Museum and all of that. So he also owns Hotel Ignacio. So he hooked up with Brad, and they created this concept for Baiku. The chef is Swang Lee, and he grew up kind of cooking some of these kind of he's a Korean American, and he grew up cooking a lot of Asian American dishes. And so the menu here, it fuses kind of a noodle concept, which is really hot right now. A lot of people are doing ramen, but they also are doing soba and udon noodles, which are those thick Japanese noodles. And then they have a lot of really interesting things on the appetizer menu, and tons of great sushi, including a lot of really creative rolls, some of which are vegetarian. And so it's a really nice kind of cross section of both Japanese style dishes in things like the udon noodles and the sushi, but then also kind of more Asian fusion type of things. And they have a great sake menu as well.
For those who, just say hypothetically, run at the word sushi.
Yes. That would be you.
That would be me. Yeah. Yes, I'm not a sushi guy.
No, you're not. No, he's not.
Just
you
not
tried
sushi.
It
No,
once, twice,
not really tried it.
Oh, you would
never
love
tried.
it.
No,
McGraw.
I wouldn't love it.
You would. I mean, here's the thing: is that it's not just sashimi, which is something that you probably would not like. And sashimi is just beautiful, fresh, raw fish with just very simple.
And that's what I like.
I like it too. But rolls are much more complex, and they layer different textures and flavors, and they're not always raw, which I think is what you probably have some sort of an aversion to.
Yes.
And a lot of people do.
Yes.
And a blockage. Good Lord. Anyway, so let me read you. There's one that I have not tried, but I'm excited about. It's the Green Dragon. Mm-hmm. No fish at all in it. It is cucumber, avocado, enoki mushrooms, which are those cute little fairy-looking mushrooms. I love those. And that's topped with avocado, a little bit of garlic, soy sauce, chive oil, scallions, jalapeno. I mean,
all
you
right.
would like that.
Exactly.
Is that really sushi, though, if they don't have
Well, you don't go to a sushi bar and then not order non-sushi.
Well, sushi refers to the rice.
Okay.
And so
I didn't know that.
So nigiri is the type of sushi that has that little kind of nub of rice, which has to be sushi. Proper sushi rice is made in a very specific way. It's not just cooked rice that's then smashed together. And so sashimi is where you have the sliced raw fish on a plate, and then nigiri is where you have a little bit of the warm seasoned sushi rice, and then the raw fish laid on top, and then you have the rolls, the maki, the rolls, which are these kind of creations. You can, it can be something as simple as, for example, fermented soybeans with a little bit of sushi rice wrapped in the seaweed, the dried seaweed paper. Or it could be these over-the-top American-style creations with, like mayonnaise and beef and all this kind of stuff.
That's some good sushi right there. Mayonnaise and beef.
So where this, mayonnaise and beef, make it a burger.
Mayonnaise and beef sushi. That's
put it on a bun.
Burger.
That's kind of sushi bar I'd like.
Exactly. So anyway, there are a lot of things on the menu besides sushi, and that is kind of
what's that one
point.
called? The green giant?
The green dragon.
The green dragon.
Okay. And so they also have things like stir fries and fried rice and salmon on the menu, and those noodle dishes, which you definitely should try. There's a lobster dumpling dish, which has a nice think it's a ramen dashi broth, and then it has like shredded cabbage and some sliced mushrooms, and just really and a poached egg. So when you break the egg, it kind of runs into the broth, and it's really lovely. So if you don't like sushi, you should still go get some great sake while you're there. And the interior, it's relatively small, which is nice, and they have a really attractive kind of sushi bar. So if you are into it, you can kind of sit there and watch the chef do his thing.
Baiku on Lindell, right?
Yes, on Olive. The address
Olive.
is 3407. Olive turns into Lindell.
Okay, right.
It gets confusing.
Sorry.
But it's just east of Grand, so right there in Midtown. And again, it's inside of the Hotel Ignacio, and
Right.
And that's a great boutique hotel.
Right next to the Triumph Grill, right there.
Exactly
it's
right.
all right there.
Exactly right.
Okay, right across the street from Slew. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. What's number 2?
Number 2 is the new location of Rooster, which is David Bailey, who is a prolific restaurateur here in town.
Is this a number 2 Rooster? Or
Yes.
there's a second Rooster.
Second
So the
Rooster.
first Rooster is still downtown.
It is.
Okay.
Exactly right. And so Rooster South Grand is at 3150 South Grand Boulevard, and they are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They open at 7 a.m. for coffee because obviously the Rooster concept in downtown is breakfast, lunch, brunch, but the new Rooster on South Grand also is serving dinner. And the interior is gorgeous. They've taken what was a bank and very modernist. I love it. They ripped out all of the, those horrible drop ceilings and all the stuff. So they have an exposed original brick wall from mid-century. The ceiling is super tall, and it's this big open space that overlooks the bustling South Grand. And what is so cute is David asked a number of kids in town to draw roosters.
Oh my gosh.
And
That is
so the
cute.
the art on the walls are these big, like the walls are this really great kind of like deep, like a yolk yellow, that kind of like egg yolk yellow. And then, so he has these black and white drawings of roosters from kids and chickens, like on the walls. And it's very welcoming and fun and open. And so they serve a really terrific dinner, and kind of like Rooster, which specializes in crepes, it has a bit of a French kind of accent to it. So they have a pork roulade that has herbes de Provence. They have an Arctic char that is served with kind of a quick pickle and a really nice kind of spicy sauce to it. And then there's a white fish that has like a red wine gastrique with a little bit of a vinegar kind of punch. There's also on the appetizer list, there's like a tartare, and then they kind of like everybody is serving tots these days, but theirs are a combination of not just potato, but they do potato and pork and a couple of different dipping sauces, and it's very kid friendly. When I went, I was there with some friends, and one little girl in the service was perfect with her. She was great, and so it was really fun. She actually had biscuits and gravy for dinner. Which was great.
That's always fun.
This was the Commerce Bank, right? This is the old Commerce Bank spot. So Commerce Bank built the new Commerce Bank next to it.
Correct.
And this building sat vacant for a couple of years.
Exactly right.
And it's a great, perfect place for Rooster to go.
It really is. And, I love that he repurposed this kind of modern building. We hear about these old St. Louis buildings being repurposed,
Right.
but mid-century architecture is something that there's not a ton of it in St. Louis, and so the fact that they're preserving that
Right.
and repurposing it, and it's a big space. I mean, it's when I was there, it was jam-packed and just full of energy, and it's great to see. It's very unique for South Grand. It's a great addition. South Grand is one of my favorite kind of dining streets in St. Louis because it's so multicultural. You can dine from Ethiopia to Persia to Vietnam right there in the middle of South Grand, which is wonderful. But now you've got
And you don't have to go through customs.
Exactly.
It's all right there. When I
Exactly.
first came to St. Louis, I had the U-Haul in the back, and I just came in. They were like, "Where should we go to dinner?" And somebody sent me to Mangia Italiano. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was the one where they had all the graffiti on the wall
Yep. When
before they expanded.
Before they expanded, sure.
Yeah. And it's still there. It's still going strong. Every time I go
Absolutely.
over there, I'm like, that was the first night I was in town. I was there.
South
Yeah.
Grand is a great St. Louis destination street for dining, and if you haven't been, you
Yeah.
really should just wander up and down. But so Rooster's a great addition to
Great
that.
brunch spot.
Rooster on
Absolutely.
South Grand. brand. People love it. There's a cult following with
Definitely.
Rooster. The one stays downtown, and there's a second one on South Grand. Baiku on 3401 Olive. Also, a little update on your Plank Road Pizza.
Yeah.
I went into Plank Road Pizza, and I said, hey, I heard about you guys on the radio. They said, oh, my goodness. They said, everybody heard about us on the radio. They said, this place has been packed. They said, so many people came up and said they loved it. You must have heard about it on the radio. And I was like, I did hear about it on the radio. They said, well, thank you for coming. I said, you betcha. So lots of people heard about Plank Road Pizza.
Good. I'm glad.
What's going on with the magazine?
Oh, my goodness. So much. Actually, I want to invite everybody to join us at our monthly Schnucks Cooks Cooking School class, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. We sponsor a ton of great events. And actually, this weekend, another one, there's a grass-fed beef chili cook-off over at Whole Foods, and funeral for a friend is going to be at Sanctuary. So if you just go to feastmagazine.com and click our event section, there's so many different ways to kind of join us out and about around town. There's lots of stuff going on.
And bring your Emmy next week. We want it to be awkward while you're walking through the hallway with your Emmy. You're like, excuse me, they wanted me to bring this Emmy.
Okay. I'll bring it. I
You'll
promise.
bring it. All right, good. Cat Neville, feastmagazine.com. Subscribe and get it delivered right to your front door.
Yes.
Or pick it up in newsstands everywhere.
Absolutely. Oh, and Feast TV airs this weekend. It aired last weekend. I'm just like running around like crazy.
That's outrageous.
It's now online.
Check it out online. Jimmy's on the Park sponsors Cat Neville. Jimmy's on the Park, 706 Demont Avenue, Clayton. Call it 725-8585. Their website, jimmyscafe.com. They have a new happy hour and a new bar menu, 7 nights a week plus brunch on Sunday. And look for my caricature. I don't think Carney's is on there anymore. I think they took down Carney's.
Down?
Yeah,
No.
it was repulsive to too many.
Stop it.
Too many
come on,
eaters.
McGraw.
But look for mine. Mine's in the back. A nice big smiling face, and the pencil puts about 15 pounds on you. 725-8585 or Jimmy's